guys. We've let some heat out in the past couple of minutes. For those that don't know, or I'm not sure when you're going to be watching this video, we've been working in the house for the past, what, 5-6 days?
Yeah, since Monday.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to go over the materials that are going to go into the modern dry erase board that we're going to put in this wall. We're going to use a acrylic or plexiglass. We already got it cut down to a 5x6. We're going to be using some wood. It's 1 inch by 2 inch. Some, I don't know if you can see it, some matte black paint. Some white, what is it?
Stain.
A white stain, yeah. Nails or screws, and some silicone. Alright folks, so once you get all your materials, the first thing you guys want to do is, use a water or some Windex or something to take off all the dust and particles off your plexiglass, make it sure it's nice and clean and dried up. And then you can move to the next step, which is just pouring some paint. In our case, we used matte black just to try to avoid as much glossy effect as going on. We did notice that it was a lot better to use a roller instead of a brush.
Yeah, when you use the brush, you get a lot of the streaks left behind. Yeah,
so with a roller, just cover all the surfaces and pour as much as you need to make sure it's fully dark. After that, we moved to the edges. We didn't cover the floors this time, so I used a little towel to make sure that it didn't drip anything. It wasn't terrible, so it worked out pretty good. Moving on with the lumber. Cut all the lumber, at least one of the ends, into 45 degrees. This is gonna help out, start the process for the frame. And meanwhile, you can leave the actual plexiglass drying up with the paint. So the cuts that we made were 2 5-foot cuts and 2 3-foot cuts. Those measurements are on the shorter side of the 45-degree cut angle, and then just cut towards the outside. That way you don't end up being extra short on your actual frame.
Yeah.
Once you are done cutting all the pieces, I used a router to cut about 1/8 of an inch in depth and about 1/4 inch wide, and that's where our plexiglass is gonna sit down. Next step is sand it down. I took about a 60 grit sander and then moved up to a 120, and that was a very decent surface to actually use our stain. We didn't need to go any further or any smoother than that. For our stain, we decided to go with the espresso, but Bianca thought it was a bit too dark, so we decided to water it down a bit, and I think that was a pretty good choice.
Yeah, so there, after the paint dried, I went ahead and started drawing out what I wanted to scrape off, and we went with the El Paso mountain.
Is there a particular reason why you decided to do that?
Yeah, so since we're both from El Paso, we wanted something that would kind of remind us of there, and I like that from any point from El Paso, whether you're in Horizon or you're getting close to downtown, you could see the star from any point. So I started scraping off after I drew it out, and I used a paint can opener to scrape it off.
How difficult was that?
It was pretty smooth, so I wasn't planning on using that. I was really gonna use like I don't even know what it's called, but
some other stencil or something.
Yeah. So when I saw this at Walmart, I was like, this might work, and it was pretty smooth because you would just basically scrape it off and the paint would fall right off.
Yeah, just to add to your comments, it also makes it look kind of rocky, the fact that it's not super smooth, so that kind of, you know, also goes with the mountains.
Yeah. Here I am drawing out the star with, I wanted it to look like light bulbs, and with the scraper I was using, it was scraping off way too much paint, so I went ahead and used a pencil to kind of line it out a little bit, and it would still look like the light bulb.
Alright, so the next thing, once the stain from the frame dried up and we got our art in our board, it was time to actually, you know, make sure everything was fitting and start assembling things together. So first we decided to put the plexiglass on the frame. Once we were sure that it was gonna fit, we started to nail it down with the what's it called? Gun. Yeah. And that was just to hold it off. So the next step, Bianca wanted to add some silicone.
You can't really see that, but we used the clear silicone.
Yeah. We wanted to make it look nice. So if you guys can use clear instead of white or any other color, do so. And rookie mistake, you know, we were putting the silicone when the plexiglass was still on top. We should have, you know, put it down, put the silicone, and then bring it back up. But you know, rookie mistakes.
Yeah, and then we kind of poured way too much silicone too, so it would eventually overflow.
Right, we had to like clean it very quick last minute before, you know, it started to fall on the table and other stuff. So yeah, we had our tough times, our rough moments, but it got done and it looked pretty good and it held it off pretty well.
Yeah.
So once we were done cleaning, we started to put the measurements exactly on where it's gonna go on the wall. We had already, you know, pre-measured that there was a couple of studs where we could nail it and that it would actually fit on the wall. But here we're just, you know, putting everything exactly in line and that, you know, it wouldn't be crooked or anything. So after everything was measured and we made sure, you know, it was all aligned, I nailed it down to the bottom part to the wall just for support, and then after that started to add screws around it to make it stay there permanent. And I might have possibly hit Bianca in the head a couple of times.
Yeah, and since I was holding the board, I couldn't really move, and look, it'll happen in a little bit. But yeah, it's really helpful. Boom, there it is. That hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I wasn't even able to like massage it out because I was holding the board, or else it would be crooked.
Yeah, she was strong through it.
But yeah, recommend nailing the bottom than the top, and if you have someone to help you, that's even better. Okay guys, so that was our how to make your own erasable blackboard.
So something like this will be retailed around $500 and up dollars, and we build it for under $100.
Yeah.
Again, you know, we might flex a little bit, but I thought it was a pretty good price and a really fun project to do.
Yeah, and it was unique to our own, like, you know?
Yeah. Since we finished it until, you know, the recording of this, you can tell we've been using it a lot. And I really liked the picture that Bianca did and the actual style, you know, that little wood stain that we also added. So it looked pretty good.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this. And make sure to give us a like, a subscribe, leave your comments to see if you guys liked it.
Yeah.
And share with a friend. You might want to make this for your own office.
Yep. If you guys have any other ideas that you want to share and see, please write them down below.
Yep.
Cool.
So,
see you guys. Thank you.
Bye.